What is up, everybody? We're back. We're doing some more Diablo II Resurrected with our Vengeance Paladin. So, we'll go over kind of where we're at and the gear and the build and kind of the plan. So we're in the collecting phase of the pieces for. We have the cube already. We need to get the staff and then the headpiece. I thought we had gotten the staff last stream, but I guess we did not. So we'll go. Oh, yeah, we did. So we have the maggot lair taken care of. So the next stop will be the Arcane Sanctuary, going through the palace. So we'll go over the character and the gear and whatnot. So we are a Vengeance Paladin. We're using Vengeance as our primary skill, which basically you just want to have the highest physical damage possible, because that will determine how much elemental damage is added to your attacks, because it's a percentage. So the higher physical damage your weapon deals, the more elemental damage you'll deal with Vengeance. So it's a very interesting, it's a very unique build because it scales off of physical damage, but it is an elemental build, so it's very interesting. We're using Holy Freeze just because, for safety purposes, we'll eventually be switching this to Conviction. So we'll go over our gear now. So we have a steel and a two-handed sword. It has very fast attack speed and does decent damage, so it's working pretty well for us. And then we have a Malice for our Mercenary. We were using the Malice earlier, but we decided to give that to the Mercenary and switch to the steel. For our helmet, we just have a double chip topaz in a cap for some magic find. We also have magic find gloves that we found. Our amulet sucks. It's +1 damage and it's some attack rating. We have stealth, of course. So these boots with basically just faster hit recovery. So these need to be upgraded. Poison res ring. Faster hit recovery belt with some fire res and some life and strength. FCR ring with some attack rating, life and mana charm, faster hit recovery and poison res, fire res, a little bit of fire damage, and lightning res as charms. Our mercenary has a Malice, this rare armor that gives some cold resist, poison length reduced, poison resist, a little tiny bit of attack rating and strength. And then a gemmed helmet that is faster hit recovery, maximum damage, and then double res. For the skills, we have 5 into Holy Fire, or Resist Fire, and 5 into Resist Lightning, because there are synergies for Vengeance. For every point of these you get 10% of that element added to your Vengeance damage. For offensive auras, we're using Holy Freeze, because we're trying to make our way down to Conviction. And then for combat skills, Vengeance, we're using two-handers, so we're not going to worry about Holy Shield, but you could get Holy Shield if you wanted. If you wanted to use a one-hander, you could get some points here and get down to Holy Shield. But we're using Vengeance. We also are using a Blessed Aim Mercenary to hit things a little bit better. As far as stats, we wanted to get to 45 strength and dex in order to have gear and such, and then we have the rest into vitality. We'll adjust these strength and dex numbers for gear as we move along, because again, we want to use just big old two-handers, so we're going to want to keep our strength up decently well. Oops. Anyway. Alright. We're currently on players 3. We've been playing on players 8. Oops. I was playing on players 3 with a different character last night, but we've been playing this on players 8. And we've been doing okay. So we'll keep it on for at least a little bit. Oh yeah, we need to go to the Claw Viper Temple, so let's go to the Far Oasis. And our 1 point of charge is just mainly to move around. magic find. Again, we can go back and run like Andariel for a little bit if we want to get things like try and get like a Blood Fist or the gloves and sash combo for death set would be really great. Which gives, if you have both, it gives you 15 all res, 30 increased attack speed, massive poison length reduced by 75%, and then cannot be frozen from the belt. Ooh, Sanders, these are way better. So now we have 40 faster run walk in addition to a bunch of attack rating and some strength and dex. So these are way better than the rare boots we were wearing. And now with these also it would make going back and running Andariel easier too, because we have with higher movement speed we can get through the catacombs to get to her much faster. So. And we do kill Andariel pretty easily, or we should be able to kill Andariel pretty easily, because we do elemental damage, including fire, and as we know, Andariel is weak to fire, so she has negative 50 fire resist in all difficulties. Which apparently she got over for Diablo 4, because she does fire damage in Diablo 4, which I've ranted about on the channel before. That I was so stoked when they're like, "Oh, it's Andariel. We're gonna fight Andariel. It's so cool." And then she just starts shooting out chains of fire. I'm like, did the people who made this game even play Diablo 2? Like, Andariel's that's her thing, is she's weak to fire. Why the hell is she using fire now? Like, it didn't make any sense, and it really, it like took me out of the game. It was like really immersion breaking. I was like, how is this a thing? Like, who thought this was a good idea? Alright, so we're in the Valley of the Snakes. We didn't find the waypoint, but we don't particularly care. In Hell difficulty, we want to find all the waypoints so we can farm terror zones and stuff, but in normal, it's not as important. And when we fight these groups, if I can, I try and get to the back and focus the guardians, because they resurrect the skeletons. So if you, but sometimes you have to hack your way through shit, especially these snakes, to get to them. Don't need a small cold damage or a large charm with cold damage. We do plenty of cold damage between our aura and Vengeance. Although we have spec'd our Vengeance in such a way that cold is the weakest of the elements that it adds. Mainly because in Hell, when we're using Conviction Aura, Conviction Aura is not going to break cold immunity, whereas it can break, lightning and fire immunity. So rather than trying to do something that's just not going to happen, we lean into the other two elements, which we can break, and then when we're fighting a cold immune, it doesn't matter, because we're doing extra, fire and lightning damage. So that's kind of the theory. Plus 1 to Holy Bolt, this might be worth something. Check the amulet. Plus 1 to maximum damage. That's another thing we can farm from Andariel, is I believe she can drop Angelics pieces, so that would be really good, because A, our amulet sucks and our rings aren't that great, but B, the angelic amulet can give +1 to skills and 75 to life, and I think some magic find. If you have the rings, and then the rings give an absurd amount of attack rating if you have the another piece. So the rings plus amulet combo is very good for Angelic's set. So we could go and farm Andariel and try and get that stuff going. She can also, again, she can drop Blood Fist. That would be helpful to us. Blood Fist gives attack rate, or attack speed, and a bunch of faster hit recovery, as well as like 40 to life, which is pretty dang good. As we, that's not a two-hander. We don't have to worry about that. If we can find a 3-socket two-hander, or we could potentially make a different rune word. Namely, right now we can make, like, Malice is the other one I would be thinking of. But Steel's working great for us, so. And his age is just crushing. He has no fear of any of these skeletons here. There's a spear there. We could look at that potentially, but I think we're okay. We do got to be careful here because Fang Skin is very dangerous. He has charge, and he's lightning immune, or not lightning immune, lightning enchanted. Sorry. And he's extra fast, so. Okay. There's an amulet now. Well, thank you, Atma. I like Atma's character. Okay. Lightning resist 20%. That is better than 1 damage. Actually, we'll keep that 1 jewel just because we want to be able to make craft those gloves later. And again, I'm putting the gems in manually like this because we're not using shared stash. We're just doing solo self-found here. Again, we'll check and see if she's got anything cool. Eventually we would like a big old two-handed axe. Like a great axe and normal, champion axe and hell. I don't remember what the middle one's called. Let's go ahead and do Endario real quick. Let's see if we can. We don't have the best map, but not horrible. Oh, did I forget to buy potions? I totally did, huh? Whoops. That's alright. Where's my mercenary? Dude, help me, please. I'm paying you for a reason. Good lord. He's cold enchanted. Super annoying. Son of a bitch. Alright, well I tried to lock the door and I can't, so this is annoying. How's it blocked? There's nothing there. Oh, that's so annoying. Sorry guys, stupid crap shit like that tilts me sometimes. It's like, dude, there's literally nothing standing in the doorway. What are we doing? Because they hit the BS, let me kill Endario. Or just die. That also works. Useless. guess we can't easily farm Endario since we just get swarmed by idiots here. And I can't remember to buy potions to save my life. Alright, well, whoops. Dumb. Well, that was a terrible idea. We should just play a turn. We should have turned the player's count down, and we should have bought potions, and just everything about that was just terrible. So don't do that. I think at this point we're probably going to turn the player's count down too, because it's starting to become a bit of a slog. Alright, so this is... don't care. Chance can't amplify damage. Not quite what we're looking for. Chance to cast Ice Bolt. Okay, freeze duration. Mana and MF. Sure. We will keep the lightning res. One though. So we may use that later. Okay. We'll go down to players 3. Yeah. These ice guys are super annoying because we don't have cannot be frozen. If we did, they would be, you know, whatever. Of course, they give us an obnoxious pathing here. We definitely need some mana leech, mana per kill stuff going on here as well. Because we're just chewing through mana potions, like, it's absurd. I don't want to click on that fire shrine because I don't want to die. Although if you manage to get a fire shrine in the Chaos Sanctuary by Diablo, you can actually use that to kill Diablo like really easily because it does like a huge amount of damage to him. Because I think it does like 75% of your life or something, like it's like a crazy amount. And so if you have a fire shrine in there and you activate it while you're fighting him, you just like get a bunch of free damage, and it's makes killing him actually a lot easier. So. Okay, this has a blessed aim. also, if you're using the sword and board strategy instead of the two-hander, you want to go and talk to Farah and buy a 3 open socket shield if you haven't found a 3 open socket paladin shield yet, because you can make an Ancient's Pledge, and you get those runes for free from the Barb's quest in Act 5, if you haven't found them already by then. So, and Ancient's Pledge is just, it adds a boatload of resistances, so if you put it in a like a Targe or whatever, you can, ooh geez, you can actually get a ridiculously good shield, like ridiculously early on. And if you wanted an easier time, you could also just stick with Holy Fire throughout all of normal, because it is stronger, like playing through, than what we're doing. But because this is a Vengeance build, I wanted to assume we're using Vengeance as much of the game as we can. So, but technically speaking, it would be faster if you just, like, as far as leveling and getting through the game, to get through normal with Holy Fire and Zeal. But that's not what we're doing. We're vengeancing, baby. Nah. All right. And as always, for the Arcane Sanctuary, just pick a direction and go with it. There's no way of knowing which way to go is correct, so just pick a direction and go that way. I'll do it, just level up after we kill these ghosts. Okay. So we're going to stick with Vengeance. We will get a point over here before we get to level 30, so we can get ready for Conviction. And then for stats, we'll do that. I wonder if we were to do, so right now we're 77 to 145. Let's check my Dora. Yeah, it's a little bit less. Let's check Holy Fire. It's a touch more. But this is the most safe, so you can really do with whatever one of them you want. Just kind of pick the one you like and go with it. Especially since, like, right now we're 1.1 during, so. So if you wanted to keep the Act 1 mercenary, instead of getting this guy, you could have gotten a point into Blessed Aim yourself and use Blessed Aim as your aura, and then just keep the Act 1 mercenary if you want. Getting a big old polearm insight actually wouldn't be the worst thing either moving forward, because again, mana. Although we'd probably give that to our mercenary. Things that we would like to use, things would be like towards the like at end game would be like an Oath or a Kingslayer or something like that. Mainly, like Oath is a big one that I really enjoy. Super end game, you get like Breath of the Dying or something. Alright, it wasn't first way, so we'll go back. Remember that in Act 2 you can talk to Farah or Amma, and they will give you, they'll heal you. Ooh, a Claymore. And it's 3 sockets, and it's higher base damage than our current weapon. Oops, there's still stuff in here. Lead Crow, it's a crossbow. You could use it if you wanted to. I guess it's not worth even a lot of gold, so that's why I was like, we don't really take it with us. But, we'll look at some 3-socket rune wards we could make, potentially, and look at making that in that making one of those in that Claymore. As Mr. Lamas would say, we're whacking dudes. Hazade, please learn to use stairs. I know it's a complicated. Hazade, please. Hazade, for the love of God, you are a moron. Alright, I guess I'll just get attacked from all directions since my minion is an idiot. The AI of the mercenaries is a little special in this game. They kind of just do a lot of staring and walking into walls because they just can't figure it out. Now the Warlock minion AI is actually good because it's new. So if only other summons and mercenaries were so lucky. Hazade, for the love of God. Walk around here, please. Blithering idiot. Good grief. I think that one was extra bad. It was like, dude. It's like 2 steps to the side. Like, come on. Also, for those of you who've been watching the channel, you may notice that my tone of voice and pattern of speech can change pretty dramatically. And that's because I have dissociative identity disorder. I actually have 7 identified altars. And, you know, I'm pretty well high functioning, like, I don't know, like, you know, and so a lot of people, like, don't fully know, like, it's easy for people to not notice, but once you get to, but also once you do notice it, you kind of can't not notice it, but 10 of life is okay. We'll keep that. We can cube up these guys. But yeah, so if you ever notice that it sounds something like I sound like 2 different people sometimes, it's not far off, actually. So, fun fact about me. There's a lot of people that there's also a lot of misinformation about dissociative identity disorder. So if you're ever interested, in that kind of thing, feel free to ask questions and stuff. I'm happy to chat about it. So anyway, let's grab our claymore and our stick. We'll put our claymore in the box. Let's go to our chronicle and see. Rune words, melee. We don't have a whole lot that we've made since this has been a thing, so it might not show very much. Yeah, insight, malice for spirit, steel, and voice reason. Now, you might look at spirit and be like, "This, hey, this is great. It's plus the skills. It has the all 3. It has the different elemental damages. This actually isn't good for us because the physical damage on it is terrible. Steel is okay, but it only has 20% ED. Malice is kind of the same boat. Only has 33% ED. Now this though, this is a banger because look, it's gonna roll between 200 and 260% ED. And has critical strike and, you know, a bunch of other stuff. So insight is really more in line of what we're trying to do. The only problem is it's only for bows and polearms, and so polearms can be a bit of a annoyance, but let's get potions before we go dive into this. Alright, so not first way, not second way. Will it be third way? There's another tier rune. That's another thing we could make. We could make a nadir. It's not something you see super commonly, but it is kind of useful because it has a tier rune in it, so it gives you damage per mana per kill. God, I can't talk. But it also has Cloak of Shadows charges, which you can use to kind of blind all the monsters around you. It's really good for safety because it means you can kind of, because if they're not like right up in your grill, they won't know that you're there. And then you can kind of like fight them one at a time. And so yeah, it really helps for places like Chaos Sanctuary and stuff that are like pretty tough areas, because you can fight the monsters kind of more on your own terms. So Nadir is an option that we could do, and it would help with our mana because our mana is currently our biggest bugaboo. Vengeance isn't the cheapest ability as far as mana. Yeah, we're costing 5.5 mana per swing at this point. this long staff. Blaze and static field, but it is ethereal, so ethereal sometimes makes items like not sell for anything, but it is plus to static and plus to blaze, so maybe it'll still be worth something. It's hard to tell with ethereal items. Alright, third way again. Feeling with our last character, we got third way a couple of times. With our summon Goatman Warlock. Now, you do want to dodge those things that he shoots at you because his glacial spikes are and fireballs are, you know, decently high level, so they do a good amount of damage. Especially if your resistances aren't, you know, the best, which we're not using a shield, so that's always a concern. Alright, let's go back to town real quick and kind of make sure we got all of our ducks in a row, and then we'll go find Daryl and kill him. $15 fire res, no, match damage reduced by 2. No, I don't think so. So Neft here, there's Nadir right there. Okay. Oops. Yeah, lightning res. We'll keep that. That's not the best, but because it's large. If that was a small charm, that'd be great. Same with that 10 lifer. Okay. So if we look at our last quest, it says circle is our temple. So I believe that is over this way. Oh hi. Now you notice when I saw them, I didn't just immediately sprint into them, and I kind of backed up and let them come to me. Positioning is really important when you're playing a melee character, because if you're in the thick of it like that, you're going to take a bunch of damage very quickly if they start hitting you, and that's not necessarily the best. Let's see what this kite shield do. It's 2 sockets, so this could make a rhyme. Oops, forgot to sell our staff. So Rhyme Shield gives you cannot be frozen, so that's an option for you. Oops. Switch back to our big sword here. Okay. Alright, ghosts. Gotta be careful with these, because again, they have mana burn. It's like a built-in ability. And he's cold enchanted, so that's definitely good that we're having our mercenary tank. Hazade's tough, so he can handle it. At this point, he probably has better resistances than we do. Just by sake of, he gets resistances as he levels up. We do not. So yeah, he is like, yeah, he is, you know, 46 and 52 to resist all, and we have like hardly anything. So having him tank is usually the best option for us. We do want to keep him alive though. We don't want him to die because that's really expensive. It's much easier, much better to just give him some potions than let him die and have to, you know, pay to resurrect him. These Gorebelly guys can be dangerous because they have stun attack. So if they get a chance, they'll stun lock you into oblivion and then just murder you. So you gotta be careful with them. Luckily, it doesn't look like we got Unravelers, which is good because Unravelers piss me off. Unravelers are just they're probably the toughest monster that spawns in here, just because they can keep resurrecting their dead homies, and then it just makes it a lot harder to chew through them. So. Oh, we could get Unravelers. Okay. That's also okay though. They're tough, but I actually do like Unravelers. I think they're really cool. There's something I really enjoy about an ancient mummy monster that summons and resurrects a bunch of undead to kind of like defend a temple or something. That's like really cool to me. It's a trope that I've used in D&D campaigns that I've run, for example, is, you know, a mummy with additional undead servants, like zombies and skeletons and stuff. Actually, I had one campaign where we had it was a 4th edition campaign, and we had an area where a mummy was one of the bosses, and we had to use a tomb spider as an enemy as well. Those are also pretty cool. Put the stick in the orifice. Okay, we are going to go back and we're going to do the thawing potion trick to give ourselves a bunch of cold res because Dariel has Holy Freeze. Yeah, if that wasn't ethereal, that would probably be worth max gold. But it isn't. So we'll give his aid a couple of these. So now he should have, I have 50 cold res and he should have 85. I always want to stand on the opposite side, or at least a different side than my mercenary. That way he's not attacking us both at the same time. There we go. We're getting him down. Oh, he died. Sometimes you just don't have enough potions. Oh. That's not what I wanted to do. Give him just a couple more of the thawings. Since he died, they wear off. So another 90 seconds of cold resist. That should be plenty. Make sure we're feeding him potions. Okay, he lived. You want. Okay. Luckily he didn't drop us just 1,000,000 scrolls of town portal. He has a tendency to do that. Alright, now we're going to head to Act 3. Unfortunately, we cannot charge in town. But with Sanders, we move pretty fast. So, and plus we have stealth, so we have decent amount. We have 65% faster run on. Alright, we'll go ahead and fill out our keys, repair. Let's check out for some weapons. See, finding one of these with 4 sockets for an insight for our homie would be great. Ooh. 12 to 39 with life leech. 9 to 33 with mana per kill. This has mana leech. Oh, here we go. 9 to 34. Doesn't have open wounds or mana per kill though. But this is, so this, if we can get a bunch of this with a bunch of sockets, this is kind of the next item we're looking at. And then, now we can talk to Ormus and look into getting a teleport staff. Again, we want teleport charges, not plus to teleport. Like this doesn't work. Sharp Great Axe of Frost, 24 to 50, but it's slow. And we are going to do this a few times, try and get this teleport staff here. Because even with charge, teleport just will make our life a lot easier, especially for this jungle part where we can, because we can hop over the water. And the sewer, we can hop across the sewer as well, so. Firestorm charges. Firebolt charges. Okay. And this may take a little bit here. Also, we didn't get Vigor. We could have. Vigor would make stuff like this faster, but again, if we had Vigor, we would have less points into our Vengeance and Synergies and whatnot, so we would be doing less damage. So I think that it's fine. And again, we could turn it down to like players 3 and go farm on Dario for a little bit if we wanted. She's not going to drop a teleport staff though, so we need there's Firestorm again. Sacrifice. I need Sacrifice charges. I have Sacrifice. Man, Warmest being stingy today. Come on, Ormus. You know, sometimes I do this and you get lucky and you find it in a couple tries, and sometimes you're here for an hour. If it takes too long, we'll definitely move along, but Frost Nova charges, Telekinesis charges, Firestorm, Lightning. 33 is the right amount, and teleport charges usually come in 33. Unless it's like a Nauseous Puzzler has 69, which makes it like the super teleport staff, but well, thanks, Ormus. Riveting right here. Lightning charges. Jeez. And usually I try and get here before level 24. That way, when you're looking at these, you only have to look at the ones that have the red background because you're not high enough level for it. But unfortunately, we hit level 24 before we got here, so that strategy is out the window, so we have to look at all of them. Nova. Lightning. Jeez. Ormus, why you gotta do me like this? I thought we were buddies. Nova. Dude. How's everyone's weekend starting off? I hurt my back again. I'm not exactly sure how. But so because of that, telekinesis, because of that I haven't been sleeping, so I'm exhausted again. I'm going to try not to start nodding off and have to end the stream early like I did yesterday, because I hate doing that, but unfortunately health stuff is what it is. Fireball charges, come on. Ormus, come on, dude. Fireball. Teleport charge 149,000. Lovely. Well, I don't want to keep looking, so I ate almost all of our gold, but at least we have it now, so. And we can sell these. And now this will become teleport, and this will become forced walk. Alright. So we continue on. Also, teleport is helpful for our mercenary for when he's being an idiot. Because if you teleport your mercenary and all your minions teleport with you. So it's a good way to force reposition them, either by pulling him out of danger or doing what we call a tele-stomp, where you teleport right on top of the enemy and then everybody will hit him basically all at the same time. So if you're a summoner with a mercenary, tele-stomping things is very, very strong, which is why so Enigma is really busted on those builds. Not that it's not busted on every build, but any build where positioning matters, being able to teleport is like even more powerful. Hence why, like, Nova Source worries about getting such high break points, because it has to teleport in the middle of everything and then do its thing. Same thing with Hammerden. Hammerden, once he has Enigma, he is way better because he can just like jump in the middle of everybody and then spin and just crush. There you go, Jose. Now you're doing it. We'll check this helmet because we don't have anything cool for. What? Oh, yeah, screw that. Tri-res with attack rating. Dual res. Anyway. Alright, cool. We already found the spider cavern. We're going to go down to players 1, though, because we're now at a level where, like, we're not going to gain many levels between now and Act 5 anyway. And Act 5 has Eldritch, so we can just farm really quick for, like, to catch up. So, we'll, rather than continue to slog a little bit, we'll just make our life easier, and then we'll farm in the area that's kind of best to do that. Again, when you're in here, you gotta watch out for Zark the Burning, this asshole right here, because if he actually hits you, he's very scary, because he does a lot of damage, and he poisons the hell out of you, and he has Cursed. And he's fast, so he'll chase you down. This is Zark the Burning, so a bit of a noob's trap. A lot of people died out of him. Does anyone feel like they get way just too many like notifications on their phone these days? Like it's just like every like 10 seconds I feel like my phone's like going off with some bullshit that I don't really care about. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me or it just oops. Okay, so we have the spider cavern done. A ring. We'll take a look. So we're just making our way to the flare, hopefully. Again, this is also where Holy Fire would really crush if we just stuck with Holy Fire just for the whole time. Because high level Holy Fire, you don't even have to attack things in here. You just like literally, there's because some of the monsters in here, rather than like big dudes, you know, like unravelers, beetles, that kind of stuff. It's like a bunch of these small little shitheads, like these flying bird things and the little blow dart guys. So like they don't have very much health individually, but they're strong because there's a whole slew of them. So Holy Fire, if you have like, you know, you could probably have like, you know, level 15 Holy Fire by now or something like that. So you could literally just like run past them and they'll just explode around you. So maybe at some point we'll do a Holy Fire build. Like I said, I'd like to do the Plasma Rifle Paladin with so I think I have all the different versions of bows and crossbows that shoot explosive arrows in the shared stash. So we could just like from the beginning be the like use the and like upgrade our plasma rifle as we go basically, and just I think that would be really fun. We could do the same thing with the enchant sorceress, do a plasma rifle and sorceress with the same items or the same weapons at least. I think that would be really fun. And I think those are both builds that are like off meta, but like actually like like, well, I haven't done it with the paladin, but I know with the sorceress it's actually very strong. Like, I actually play with her a decent amount on my when I'm like farming, because she can any area that's like super dense, like, so like either like everybody's in a straight line like an arcane or the maggot lair. She's good in there because she'll just pierce through all that crap with her piercing attack and just like murder the entire area. Or anything that's like just extremely high density, like cows. She crushes all those types of places because the explosion triggers whenever the arrow passes through an enemy, right? And she has 99% pierce because Demon Machine has 66, and then she has Razor Tail, which gives 33. So she has basically pierce all the time. It's 99%. So when she shoots through a pack of 10 cows all clumped together, it explodes multiple times, and then so you get like, it's not just like the 5k explosive damage or whatever, it's like the 5k explosive damage many times over. Which is a lot, turns out. Okay. Yeah, I feel like every 10 seconds I look up and there's just 50 million notifications on my phone, and I have to and it bothers me to have them sitting there. So I took them there's one right there. All right, I'm gonna grab another drink and I'll be right back, and then we will continue on to the Flayer dungeon. All right. Yeah, the way the way that build works is basically, since Holy Fire adds fire damage to your attacks, anything that adds fire damage also adds fire damage to the explosion radius of Explosive Arrow. So, basically, all that fire damage that we were getting to our sword swings would go not just to the arrow itself, but to the explosion radius around the arrow, which is why it's good. It's just it's a small area, but it's a lot of damage for the small area, and when monsters are really close together, it just murders. And I think Paladin would give it interesting options as well, because you know, Paladin has a lot of different skills that the Sorceress does not, so I think it's different enough that it would be interesting to do both runs eventually, not necessarily back to back, but eventually. If you like off-meta stuff, there's several channels I would recommend. Off-meta Michael does interesting off-meta stuff, although in the last year or so, I think he's done more like PoE 2 and stuff. But I think he did come back for Reign of the Warlock, if I remember correctly. Oh, there's a giant sword. Take a look. 2 Saga giant swords, so we could make a steal in that if we wanted to farm some more runes. It'd be slightly better than the one we're using now. So he does good stuff, and his videos are cool because he also writes his own music and he plays his music in the background of his videos. It's really cool. It's like, I think it's very well done. So like during like the gameplay montage parts where he shows off the build, and he has interesting ideas. Some of his builds are a little bit expensive, like this is what the build can do at the end of the game type of builds. But if you're doing a lot of that kind of stuff that he's doing like online, you can trade for some of that stuff, because some of the stuff that's used in like an off-meta thing isn't worth a lot, and so you can trade for them. But it depends on what you're trying to do. Double Billy also does amazing off-meta content. I also think he's pretty funny, but his off-meta builds are really, really good. Ginger Gaming also does. He does both meta and off-meta stuff. He's actually where I learned a lot of that I know about the Vengeance Paladin, because not many people really build the Vengeance Paladin very often, or explain very well like how the scaling and stuff works, like how it actually is a physical build that it's the physical damage that scales the elemental, not like your plus to skills really. Your plus to skills help, but adding 500% to not very much is not that great, whereas adding 50% to like a lot is good. That's kind of the difference. So you don't have to focus as much on plus to skills and focus more on the physical damage of your weapon. And so he's a guy I learned that from, and he does some good he does good videos too, and very knowledgeable. If you're into like super optimization, crazy endgame stuff, obviously there's like Cooley is a great one, especially for if you like anything involving PvP. He's like the PvP king of YouTube, in my opinion. So the Great Marsh doesn't have anything of interest in it, so we're just kind of running through it and there's souls in here. I don't want to fight souls, so. So yes, if you're into PvP stuff, I would highly recommend checking Cooley out. But even if you're not into PvP stuff, he also does some like interesting, cool stuff where like during the seasons he'll do drop highlights of things that he found that are insane. And it's usually like not even like, it's not like, oh, I found 15 Chacos or something. It's usually like, oh, look at this weird rare item that I found that's like broken. And his community will send him items too, so it's not just stuff that he found, it's stuff that his community has found as well. So it's just cool because you can get like I said, they'll sometimes find like rare items that are just like, what in the hell, like just crazy powerful. So I think that's pretty sweet. So we leveled up, so let's see. Let's just go here and prepare for Conviction. And then I think after this we'll also start putting more points into Strength and get up to like probably like 70. Because I think that Great Axe requires 70 Strength. So if we find a socketed one, that would be the thing we want to make next. Also, we're going to need more strength also if we decide to use that. The Claymore greatsword that we found. Oh, good grief. Okay, we're just in Great Marsh Hell here. Macro Bio Boy, he does mostly D4 now, but sometimes he'll do D2 videos still. I think like he's done some Warlock videos, but he does the math behind Diablo II very, very well, and does a lot of like weird testing and stuff. And so he gets super into the nitty gritty of stuff. So if you're into that kind of thing, you can check him out. But if like the math and numbers side of things like kind of bakes your noodle a little bit, he might not be the best for you, but he makes really good content, and he has done some really weird shit too. Like he did a pacifist source playthrough all the way through Hell, where he used chance to cast Nova gear rather than like thorns or something. It was all chance to cast Nova gear, and then he maxed his Nova synergies, and then like health and stuff. And so he basically would just stand in the middle of groups, and they would hit him, casting all these Novas. That even though the Novas were only chance to cast level 3 Nova or whatever, there was so many of them because he had like no defense, and he was just getting hit all the time. There were so many of them, and they were maxed synergy with like static and lightning mastery, that they were actually like doing decent damage. So like he actually was able to clear the game with that, which is like why anyone would try and clear the game with a pacifist sorceress is wild. And he didn't just do it through normal, he did it all the way through Hell. So he's like I said, he's very, very knowledgeable. So if you're into the nuts and bolts of how this game works and stuff like that, he's like one of the best. And if you want to watch some idiot just play through the game and ramble about life and working in healthcare leadership and movies and old video games, then you can watch me. Because those are kind of the things that I'm into, right? And we're back in the okay, how the fuck? I had to have missed something. This is super annoying. This is why people hate Act 3. Normally I don't mind it, because usually it's not this convoluted, where I literally ran around the entire map, and it's like I'm not finding where to go. It's usually not this convoluted, but it is convoluted enough that people usually, that's why people hate Act 3. Okay. There's gotta be, this has to split off down here, and I just didn't notice it. It does. Wow, okay. So I'm an idiot. Yep, we had a flare skip, and we just didn't even... I am not thinking today. Oh my god, can we hit something, please? Jeez. That was like 15 clicks, and he just didn't hit anything. I'm like, what are we doing, dude? Ow, jeez. Oh, there's a Ethrin. shit. Yeah, those shaman dudes are assholes, so watch out. They cast Inferno and they do about 1,000,000 damage in a second, so. Alright, what the mercenary take? Why can't I target them? What the hell? Alright, let's go back and get rid of the Gidbin and the statue. Another thing we could do is if we got another Ith rune, into this thing. Each one adds +9 to maximum damage, so it'd be +27 maximum damage. It'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, that's actually a lot. Or we could do 2 Iths and some steel. A few different options. Alright, what's the ring? Damage, attack rating, magic find, fire res. Way better than that. Okay, we got the give the thing to Mashif. Now we'll go talk to Crazy Encore and Ashira. '26 lightning resist belt. Yeah. Although, until we get, well, we'll keep the fire one on until we do the flare. Because again, those fire breathing shaman dudes. We'll go ahead and repair our durability while we're here as well. And our teleport charges. Yep, 26k. So we need to start picking up armors, like breastplates and heavier. Because those will sell for like generally like maximum gold. And they drop fairly easily. So we need to start picking those up because we need gold bad. That teleport staff pretty much bankrupted us. And it's expensive to continue to repair the teleport staff, but for areas like this, I think that's fine. It's worth it. Lies. Alright, next few levels we need to start pumping our strength. Holy. Oh, Jose's getting his butt kicked. Ooh, a rare claymore. That could potentially be good. Two to maximum damage, some attack rating, racism against undead. We lose attack speed, for sure. But that's a big damage increase. Well, we'll try it again. We know we switch back. We'll go ahead and switch to our lightning resist belt now. We're going to keep both, but we're going to switch to the lightning res because we're going to be coming up on lower Kuros. And that area with the Zachramites and their priests shoot lightning. Oops. Did I get the flare waypoint? I did not. So yeah, so we will have to go through this way. Okay. One socket. Ow. Kill these guys here. Ow, Jesus. Not having a waypoint there is interesting. Shit. Yep. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we're heading towards civilization. Again, these idiots are in frenzy, and the main one has lightning enchanted, so be careful. And now that we're in Lower Kurost, not really worth farming in normal, but in Nightmare this is the first and thus kind of easiest place to find grand charms that are skillers. They're not going to roll necessarily with anything else on them. Like, you're not going to get like a 45 life plus the skill grand charm in here, but you can get just a regular skiller in here. So if you're wanting or needing skillers for your characters, getting like a sorceress or somebody with fast teleport and coming down to Nightmare and just farming these super chests that are around these, that are in these huts around these campfires, and that's a great way to get those. You can also farm Lower Kuros and Hell, where that's the best place to find like a burr rune, because those campfires, those super chests can drop up to a burr rune, and you get 6 of them guaranteed. And so again, you get a fast teleporter and a map where you get 2 campfires and they're relatively close to the waypoint, and you can farm Lower Kuros for like up to burr runes. And so that's kind of, we ran right through it. There's not like a lot going on in there except for that. So identifier stuff. This is nowhere near what we're looking for, so we'll go ahead and sell that one. Okay, now we are going to head for the Bazaar, and we're going to want to find and kill Battle Sister Serena in her temple, and then we're going to want to move on to the sewers to grab the last organ, and then to Travancore, and then to Mephisto. And I think that's probably where we're likely to call it for this stream, is finishing out Act 3, because my back is starting to really bother me again, unfortunately. So there's a sewer entrance, but we'll see. Why can't I walk through that? That was weird. don't want to deal with these idiots. These guys I'll fight. And remember, Serena's temple is always facing down towards this corner. And it always has that kind of you'll recognize the steps when we get there if you've played this game before or watched me stream it before. It has a specific look to it, and it's right here. This set of steps into one of these things. Alright, Wailing Beasts. In Hell, these guys are immune to magic damage, so if you're playing Hammerden, these guys would be spooky. Same thing with Fist of Heavens, although Fist of Heavens you're not, you can't even hurt them really. I mean, you do a little bit of lightning damage to them, but... Alright. So our attack speed is significantly less, which is unfortunate. So we may actually switch back to this steel, because even though we're doing way more damage now, we're just like... we're crawling, basically. Go ahead and turn in the book and get our stats. We are going to put them into strength. And then we'll go ahead and repair our teleport staff as well. So we can do the sewers and make our way to Mephisto. Now, if we hadn't been playing on Player's 8 and stuff, and we weren't level 24 yet, I would recommend farming Battle Sister Serena in that temple that we just did, because you want to be level 24 or 25. 24 before you start Act 4, and 25 before you start Act 5, or you just don't get experience. There's a experience penalty for the first 25 levels of the game. That penalty goes away after you hit level 25, and basically your experience will completely and utterly fall off a cliff if you aren't level 24 or 25 in those places. But Battle Sister Serena's pretty decent farm. She's not too difficult, and okay, we'll find a different sewer entrance here. Anyway, she's not super difficult. She's worth a good amount of experience because she has a decent number of minions. She's always there, like in the same spot, so kind of like Eldritch in that way. And she's close to the waypoint, so like Eldritch, she's a pretty good farm. Actually, we can go in through the same entrance. The thing is, we just went the wrong way. If you run into that golden chest, I think the actual where you're supposed to go is the other direction. So, and it's right here. Another giant sword. Enhanced damage, maximum damage, and cold res. I keep forgetting to put that thing away. Let's get past these dudes. Oh, conviction. That's lovely. At least he wasn't elemental as well. If there was one of these guys' little wizard friends around, that would have been dangerous. Okay. Actually, how many teleports we have left? 23 should be plenty. Okay, these guys are... The council is always a bit tough. For our mercenary especially, he'll get murdered in here, but that's alright. The reason he gets murdered so fast out here is because Hydras, like act bosses. I forgot to do this stupid spear again. Hydras, like act bosses, do bonus damage to mercenaries and summons. Which is why a lot of times if you're playing like a summoner, like especially like a necromancer or something, and you first get to Andariel and she'll do that like wave her hand thing and shoots all the poison everywhere, it'll like just like instantly kill all your summons. That's why. Whack. And here's where it's super important to have a teleport staff, because the Durance can be, it's huge in normal and gets way huger in every increasing difficulty. And usually there's dolls in here, so that is a combination that nobody wants. So, yep, there they go, speaking of dolls. Ooh, a gem shrine up. I should have grabbed a. Dang it. I should have grabbed a gem from the stash and upgraded it, like one of our higher level ones. But that's okay. Didn't think about it. Here's our waypoint. We always want to get the waypoints that are close to the bosses, like Andariel, Mephisto, Bale. Because they're good people to farm. They're good places to farm. Especially in Nightmare and Hell. Particularly Hell, but I mean Nightmare Mephisto and Nightmare Andy are also pretty good farms. I mean, we even considered going back and farming Andy a little bit here in normal just to get like Blood Fist and stuff. Okay, not the best map for farming Mephisto, but not terrible. Fanatis has been lighting a chant is not my favorite. Oop, there's an amulet. Okay, we got Angelics, so now we just need Angelic's ring to get the massive attack rating, life, and +1 skill. Whoops. So Mephisto can be a bit dangerous. As you can see, he murdered our. Oh, that's the attack I was afraid of. Raggy. What we're going to want to do. Mm-hmm. We'll also get back our merce. We're also going to repair our staff. Not that we need to do. Actually, we'll wait till back far. Again, we'll keep feeding our mercenary potions. There we go. Okay, we got an Ort rune. And we got a bone shield. Poopy. No, not what we're looking for. You can't use these? That's weird. I thought he could. Huh. Alright, well. Get rid of it then. Thought he could use those. Apparently he can't. This is also why you don't want to fight Mephisto on this side of, or this close, or close to, jeez, I cannot speak today, close to this side of the arena, because those idiots will come out and jump you. Well, +2 to concentration is probably worth something. Alright guys, and we are going to call it here, because, honestly, because my back is killing me. We'll check out these weapons and stuff first, so that's got better average. But it doesn't have the open wounds, so I think Malice is probably still better. We'll check his helmet. I'm assuming this is... Okay. Okay, we don't have enough gold to repair all of our stuff. So we could get him. This pike is actually the best weapon we could probably give him. Let's just look at this damage. Pikes do a ton. Yeah. So he's going to rock the pike from now on. Again, so can't repair. So. But yeah, I'm gonna take a break, and I will probably stream you probably either this later on today or tomorrow, and we're gonna do Act 4. I'll probably do Act 4 and Act 5 together if possible. We'll see how my back's doing. But thank you guys always for watching. This will go up to YouTube today, and I really appreciate all the support and everyone watching and participating in the Discord and everything. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one.